I just drove well over 200 laps at Bahrain in the top split of Le Mans Ultimate, and this was by far the hardest and most psychologically demanding race I've ever done. I nearly gave up halfway through multiple times, but I'm really glad that I didn't. The LMP2 is an absolute beast, but incredibly difficult to drive and extremely unpredictable. As much as a wild Karen at your local Walmart on a Sunday morning. And because of that, we spun. And we spun again and again. If you have wondered why Formula 1 doesn't race at Bahrain during the day anymore, this is why. Heat. And once you spin, it's over. They will never properly cool down ever again. We were never going to fight for a podium like we did last time at Interlagos, but by not giving up, we just might be able to claw our way back before the 4 hours are up. Right away, in qualifying, we noticed that something was not quite right.
It's literally just like a big outlap, like he's still weaving.
This was because the game deemed that we were good enough for the top split. The problem is, we didn't really practice, except for an hour before the actual event.
Already did a low 5 on his first lap. You got what it takes. I believe in you.
And despite our best efforts, we could only muster a mere P8 as the checker flag fell.
Come on, baby, let's go.
And things would only keep getting harder and harder from here. It was now time for the race start. And knowing how crazy Bahrain Turn 1 can get, we took this as safely as possible, going around the outside and leaving plenty of space on the inside for anybody who might think they're Max Verstappen. And it paid off.
People are going crazy. I just did safe. P5.
Let's go, let's go.
After just a single lap, we're up to P5 already. This has been an absolutely phenomenal start. P5 in the top split. Absolutely incredible. But our moment of joy will be short-lived, because we ran into most hypercar drivers' worst nightmare: slow traffic in the form of GT3.
Uh-oh, traffic.
Since the track is so short, we run into traffic a lot, and it only took 8 laps to catch up to the first stragglers of the pack and to receive some fat GT's bumper right across the mouth.
Okay. Oh my god, that is so Jesus.
And let me tell you, when you gotta manage the gap to the aggressive driver from behind while simultaneously carving through traffic, it's very easy to crack under the pressure.
Oh, no. Good save, good save.
What the hell was that?
And at Bahrain, the more you lock up, the more you slide, the more unpredictable the car becomes. That's because the rear gets extremely hot the more you stress them. And the hot, scorching sun was absolutely unforgiving. On the surface, everything seemed fine, but near the carcass of the tires, something sinister was brewing. And before we know it, on lap 13, we've had our first spin of the night. And this was barely a quarter into this first stint. This was going to be a long night. It seemed like we weren't the only ones getting caught off guard. It was now a matter of surviving the stint and hand over the car in one piece. Are we going to be able to? I'm not so sure. But on lap 33, the unthinkable happened. We spun again.
Oh, someone spun.
Oh, yeah.
Where is he? I cannot see him. Oh, no. Oh.
And lap 43 couldn't come soon enough. It was time for our first driver swap. I was very much looking forward to this because though I might not be the fastest driver in terms of raw pace, I had good management in the race, and that aged like fine milk. On lap 49, I had a huge moment into turn 1, so never mind that. I wasn't warmed up properly, having sat through qualifying and the entirety of the first stint, drinking out of my juice box off to the side. And it didn't take long for the bad luck to start piling up. On lap 51, I get hit by another hypercar trying to overtake me because he deemed that I was too slow.
What an idiot, man. He gave me steering damage.
So the track, logically, belonged to him. This was for a position, so I understand why he was so aggressive. But, brother, you just gave me steering damage. And I've had nothing but nice things to say about him.
What an idiot, man.
On lap 55, I get taken out another time into the last corner. This time by a slower GT.
Are you serious, man? Who just hit me?
And it seemed like we weren't the only ones struggling to keep the rears under control, because other than the top 3, we were all constantly locking up and sending each other to oblivion.
Oh. Suddenly back up to P8.
Remember the guy that had his beam stuck on? Well, he did it too.
Karma. Vad fan culo.
And see this guy who just cut in front of us? I want you to remember his name, because we haven't seen the end of this guy yet.
Idiots everywhere, man.
And on lap 62, another spin.
Oh my god. These tires are done.
The tires were getting very, very hot now. It was getting more and more difficult to keep good pace and to manage this race.
This is not good. This is very not good.
I was low-key getting frustrated now.
Oh,
and driving
God.
angry makes you more prone to mistakes. And on lap 80, I spun again.
Oh, good save.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's unlucky.
How?
Good save.
How, man?
It's -5.
At this point, the tires were dead. And the more you flat spot the tires, the easier it is to lock up. The hotter they get. The hotter they get, the easier it is to spin. And it was a never-ending loop. I was not having fun anymore. This was only about
Jesus.
survival now.
Feels like I'm not doing good. It just feels like I'm driving a shit stint.
And I genuinely thought about just quitting and retiring in the pits. But something inside me told me that I had to keep going for the boys. And I'm so glad that I never gave up, because this next upcoming stint is gonna be the most fun I've ever had in Le Mans Ultimate. And it was time to put on our first fresh set of tires of the day. And I could not be any happier. As the floodlights came on and the night fell, the track became colder. There was more grip, and it was hammer time. On lap 96, I overtake our first car on track.
Nice. That's P8.
Let's go. Come on. Yeah, track is colder now, so we can push harder.
Pace felt incredible, and as I grew more and more comfortable with the car, our entire race transformed. From the hunted, we became the hunters. On lap 98, I'm now chasing Sturl in the orange LMP2 up ahead. He was now within my sights, and this was honestly so much fun. I managed to get a good run out of the final chicane, and I set up a good exit towards the last corner, where I managed to outbrake him to take the position. Actually, I don't, but it don't matter, because it's only a matter of time before I get it. Just a few laps later, I managed to outbrake him into turn 1 and get a move on. What a great battle this was. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I wasn't even close to being done. In the space of 6-7 laps, we managed to pull a 4-second gap to Sturl himself. I was now steadily catching up to P6 and lapping over a second faster every single lap. By lap 113, I've caught up and overtaken Pimentel. Remember when he was much faster than us in the second stint? Not anymore. As we're slicing through the slow GT3 traffic through this tough middle sector, he outbrakes himself into the chicane after having gone down the inside of the GT, and now he has to lift in order to not get another track limit validation.
Come on, all yours.
Like shooting fish in a barrel, baby.
And this was for position. I was absolutely flying. And on lap 122, I set our fastest lap of the session. But things couldn't keep going well forever, right? And what can go wrong will definitely go wrong. As we caught up to the back of a lapped LMP2, we probably get taken out by Pimentel himself, who got too hasty into the chicane to get back on the power. In the process of trying to get a better exit, he forgot that there were multiple cars in front of him, and we were just an unfortunate casualty of war. Luckily, there were only a few laps left of my stint, but what a bummer. And as I drove down the long pit road, I reflect on an absolutely disappointing way to end an otherwise great stint.
Good stuff. You drove amazing. I'm just unlucky with that
this
guy,
fucking guy, man. Man, I can't believe he just took me out like that.
We chose not to repair the damage, as the car was still very drivable. All Damien needs to do was to bring it home in one piece. But as the racing gods would have it, our bad luck hasn't ended just yet. But like I said, all Damien needed to do now was bring it home in one piece.
Oh no.
One piece, Damien. One piece.
This is, I swear, I'm so done with this GT3 people, man.
The last two stints were full of crazy moments as well.
Oh my god.
And in the end, we were really hoping that maybe P5 and P6 would come together and crash. That's all we could really hope for, because we just spun simply too many times this race. And the leaders were too far up the road, several laps ahead. As the checker flag fell,
yeah.
we did get a P7 in the top split, no less.
Let's go. P7! Woohoo!
Yeah.
But I couldn't help but to feel slightly disappointed. Because who knows where we might have finished if we didn't have all those spins in the race. Which is why the very next day, we queued up for another 200 laps around Bahrain. Subscribe to my channel today so you don't miss out on that video when it does come out, and stay tuned for 24 hours of Le Mans later this year. This has been Formula Kai, signing off.